Hi there and welcome to this Hockey Inside Out Show bonus episode. I'm Stu Cowan of the Gazette, joined by my regular partners here. They need no introduction. You know who they are, Chris Nilan and Rick Green, members of the 1986 Stanley Cup team. Well, Canadiens won 3-2 over Tampa Bay on Tuesday night. They're making 13-3-1 in their last 17 games. There hasn't been much to complain about with this team, but one glaring negative has been the amount of penalties they keep taking. After Tuesday's game, they had 183 minor penalties, which was the second most in the NHL, 4 behind the Florida Panthers. Knuckles, you spent a little bit of time in the penalty box during your career. How big of a problem is this, and how do they go about fixing it?
Well, listen, I think some of it comes from, and listen, I know a little bit about penalties, and I certainly have taken my share, okay? When I look at what's going on, the man-on-man down in their own end, okay? And when you play man-on-man, you got a guy that you're looking at, and all of a sudden he turns away from you. You're behind him now, right? You got to stay with that guy. You're behind him. He gets the puck. You're reaching in with your stick. Maybe he gets away from you. You're on the weak side now. You got to grab him. They took 3 holding penalties against Toronto. You see a lot of stick fouls. Now you can't hang on to a guy. You can't even lift the stick half the time. They call you for hooking, right? So, when you're in that position and now you're vulnerable and you got to react to the guy with the puck, you're trying to poke him, especially if he's not on the wall. If he's on the wall or in the corner, you can poke and follow through and take the body. No problem. But when you're out in the middle of the ice area, it's way more difficult. And I've seen a lot stick fouls and the holdings. Some of them come from that. Some come from size mismatches. When you look at the smaller players, and Hudson, a few guys, you got some big forwards out there that, man, they're tough. Once they get their ass in your stomach, you're done. You're done. And I think a lot of it might have to do with that. That system down low, playing one-on-one, playing man-on-man like that, it's difficult. And it can help you in one sense. In another sense, if you're not on your toes and you end up on the weak side, you're in trouble.
Yeah, Rick, it's not like back in your day when you could hack and whack and slash and cross-check in front of the net.
Punch in the head.
Well, and again, you talk about the man-on-man thing, and it comes down to the battling one-on-one and making sure that this is my man, I got to stay with him at all costs. And the hooking and the stick work and the holding come into play, other than we used to be, like I've said before, more of a zone. Once they leave that zone, it goes into somebody else's territory. So we don't necessarily have to lock onto a guy and make sure I follow this guy to the point where if I have to battle with him and he beats me, with his speed or his size, I'm going to have to hook him. And you can't do that today. You can't touch any guys with your stick or anything like that. So the result being they're in the penalty box, and they have to address that and make a conscious effort. Thank goodness their penalty killing has been pretty good. That allows them to survive it. But down the stretch here, those things are going to come back, and one goal against can make the difference between in or out of the competition, and they have to straighten that part out. But I think, like Nuck said, a large part of it has to do with I'm grabbing my guy, this is my guy, and I got to stick with him at all costs in order for the system to work. Okay. And sometimes they take unnecessarily stick infractions.
Both of you guys coached after your playing careers, Knuckles. As a coach, what can Marty do to try and fix this? Start benching guys, or?
Well, it's hard. You can't bench guys for trying to play that system. And that system, like I said, it's not easy down low there because, again, you can't do what we did back in our day. You just can't. And, I guess be more responsible with your stick. And then if you are, they end up scoring, or do you take the chance of taking 2 minutes and killing it off? What can he do? Maybe just talk to him. Listen, I think he's done an unbelievable job, I know we're early in the year. We were talking, what should we do with Marty? And no, Marty this, Marty that. We'd like to see him get mad. He's been really even keeled, and credit to him. He didn't bow to the pressure. He stayed true to himself and his players, and he's being Marty St. Louis. And you've seen things start to work for him. And he said it. It's going to take time, and when it does, he had confidence that it was going to work. He said it. Remember?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, okay, Marty, walk the talk now. Let's see. And now all of a sudden it's coming to fruition. So you got to give him credit. He stood tall. He didn't buckle. He stiffened up that backbone and said what he was going to do. And here it is. It's starting to come. So what can he do? I don't know. Ask him next time you're in the room, Stu.
Well, the penalty, Dvorak took a penalty when they're on the power play, tripping 200 feet away from his own net. Rick, as a coach, those are the ones that must drive you crazy.
Yeah, you can't take them at all costs. It just offensive zone penalties. Some of the stuff that they do, got to eliminate that. If you're really rolling the dice moving forward, if you're going to continue to take those type of unnecessary penalties, you're not going to be able to kill them all. And like I said, these are critical parts of the game, and I'm sure Martin St. Louis is addressing this as an issue that, okay, guys, try and be a little more responsible for your stick work, because the referees don't like any stick work, and make a real effort. I mean, the game is fast. There's a lot of things that are going on. You're going to draw penalties, in the defensive zone, but just be really careful about your work outside of your defensive zone play. That's going to end up putting you behind the eight ball by taking an unnecessarily dumb penalty at the wrong time and not being able to kill it.
That in defense of Dvorak, I was sitting right in that corner when he was battling for the puck. He was behind the guy chasing him down. He gets to him and he reaches in to try and get the puck, right? And that's what you do now. Like, he was behind him. It's not like he was in on the forecheck and he could just take the body. He was behind him trying to make up time and get back at him. I see Laine do it, sometimes trying to pick pockets and lift a stick, and it got caught in his skate. It was unfortunate, and I first thought, I'm like, oh, God, how can you take a penalty like that? But I can see how you can take one like that. And certainly I get what Rick's saying. You can't kill them all and blah, blah, blah. But, man, God, I used to take a lot of penalties. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
And I had to kill him. And there was a lot of name calling from the bench when we.
I know, they were all swearing at me.
Down the bench and go, here we go again.
Yeah, here we go again. And then we'd be in Philly or Boston. They say, hey, Knuckles, how about? Way to go, boy. How to go. Thanks, Knuckles. Lead the charge, will you?
Yeah.
Well, they are playing with fire with the penalties, and we'll see if it costs them as this season moves along. Anyway, that's it for this Hockey Inside Out Show bonus episode. I hope you all enjoyed it out there. Please like and subscribe to the Hockey Inside Out YouTube channel. Go to MontrealGazette.com/newsletters to sign up for the Hockey Inside Out newsletter. And you can go to HockeyInsideOut.com, where you'll get all the latest Canadiens news every day. Also, if you have a bonus question you'd like us to answer in a future bonus episode, please put it in the comment section below.